Hey race fans, Alex Weaver joining you from my living room in Charlotte, North Carolina for another installment of the world of eNASCAR. A lot of things to dive into today. Let's do the list of rundown of the guests who we're going to have on here. We have Clint Bowyer, we have Evan Posocco, we have PJ Walsh, and we also have a new addition this week, Russel from the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. He's going to talk that series as well. Let's jump in because a lot to dive into today. Let's get it started with my friend Evan Posocco, the voice of iRacing. Evan, we have to talk about Dover and the Coca-Cola iRacing Series because y'all liked that wall.
It was a great race, but yes, the turn 4 wall ate up a couple of cars in this one. And we had a little bit of a rough go 2 weeks ago in Richmond, so we're kind of worried about what we were going to see headed into the Monster Mile, but it was a great race. You know, we saw 10 different leaders, 14 lead changes, and only 2 cautions, which was an all-time low, and it was a great race.
For those moments in that race, what stuck out to you? I know because we had a little bit of a shakeup in the point standings.
Yeah, a lot happened. So it all started with Ray Alfala, who qualified on a pole by more than a tenth. And in like NASCAR standards, that's basically a country mile. I called it a monster mile. And I thought that he was going to have a really good night. But 9 laps in, he loses the race lead to Ryan Luza. And we're kind of thinking, here we go again, because at the beginning of the broadcast, I picked Luza to go for the win. And one corner on turn 4 on his own, there's no battle. He just gets the wall a little bit, and that damaged his race car enough to take him out of contention. So you figure it's a 200-lap race, you're doing 400 quarter exits, and you miss it by one bit. That's his night. We saw Nick Ottinger get up to the front of the field. He looked really stout. And then it was a late challenge by Garrett Lowe and his Wood Brothers Ford. I thought he had it. Got to look to the outside. Same spot as Luza, though. Turn 4 wall just nicked it. His night actually went a lot worse as he fell way down outside of the top 10. So it was a night of mistakes. Only with those 2 yellows, it was the mistakes on those long green flag runs. It was about keeping the car clean and being consistent, and that's how Nick Ottinger ended up in victory lane.
In the Posocco Power Rankings, you always have William Byron up there, number 1 in that Pro Invitational Series. Well, his driver got it done in the Coca-Cola iRacing Series.
Yeah, he did, and it was interesting because I mentioned, of course, we talked about Luza a lot these last few weeks. It was on a 3-race win streak. That tied, actually, Nick Ottinger for a series record of consecutive wins from back in 2013. So Luza was going to beat him and set the new record tonight, kind of fitting that Nick Ottinger punches back and says, not so close, and he actually shuts him out of that. But not only that, is Luza's win 2 weeks ago was the 15th in his career. That passed Nick Ottinger for second all time. So Nick Ottinger now with 15 wins in the series ties him back up. A lot of really fun storylines as those two guys are going at it with each other.
The season's just now getting started. We have a nice little break from iRacing. You guys get to take the week off, and then we're gearing up for Charlotte. So looking forward to that and you being on the call. It will be exciting.
It'll be good. I mean, of course, all these races in the Coke Series are half distance from what you see in the Cup Series. So Charlotte is going to be our longest oval race of the year. So we're going to run 200 laps in 300 miles. It'll be in 2 weeks' time on May the 12th. There's a lot of storylines as well with the points going on. Luza did take over the championship lead despite the fact that he didn't get the win. And that's because Bobby Zelensky, who we kind of touted at the start of the night as the most consistent driver, he finished 32nd, I think, in the race. He just had an awful night, but he only falls to P2 in the points. I think that really goes to show how well he has been to this point. Other storylines, Junior Motorsports is the only team to have 2 cars in what is our playoff top 8. With, of course, Michael Conti and Brad Davies. But then there's big names dropping back. The likes of Clampett, Crowder, and Novak out of the top 8. They've got work to do.
All right, well, it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season shakes out. EP, thank you for joining me. We'll see you right back here next week.
Yep, thanks for tuning in on Tuesdays. We'll catch you next time.
So a lot of racing action in the iRacing Series, but we also have NASCAR Heat, which is on week 2 of their season. They raced at Watkins Glen on Wednesday night on PlayStation 4 and on Xbox. And we're now going to welcome in our NASCAR Heat Pro League expert, Russell Cox, also known as Rusty Wallace. You have all the names, and you also have the best jacket ever.
Yeah, thank you. I wasn't sure if I should show up with business professional or casual, so I want kind of a combination of the collar and the denim. So, but I'm happy to be here.
Well, I know that you guys have been on the call for 2 weeks now in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. So what about Watkins Glen? Because it was crazy. So what about that race made it so intense?
We knew we were in for something special and a treat. In NASCAR Heat, you can race any series on any track. And last night we took the trucks to Watkins Glen for the first time in 20 years. And it was setting the stage for something special to give these guys a new challenge, a new track. And they delivered from the start to finish in both series. Unbelievable racing.
Rusty, I have to ask you if there was a moment between one of those two races, because we saw, the two different races that happened at Watkins Glen. Was there a moment between the two that stuck out to you?
Yes, on the PlayStation 4 side, I might say the whole race, start to finish, was the greatest race I've ever seen at Watkins Glen. It was the 2012 finish that we've seen, but every single lap. It was even like AJ Allmendinger and Marcus Ambrose on every single lap, and it came down to the final corner. They were swapping the lead through the bus stop almost every single lap. All the storylines, you had a veteran in Kyle Arnold, you had a guy looking for redemption in Joey Stone, and you had a rookie up there who lost the lead and had to fight all the way back, and it came down to the final corner with Maxwell Castro and Kyle Arnold.
Yeah, heck of an intense battle there at the end. I was watching, and you didn't really know who was going to take it there for a while.
It was literally, I was like trying to hold back on the microphone, but I wanted to scream the whole time. You can't ask for better racing as a racing fan. That was quintessential NASCAR, the beating and banging, Rubbins racing. It was clean and competitive the whole way. And it's going to be, it might set a precedent for the rest of the year going forward on the PlayStation side as far as the contact and the racing style.
All right, Rusty, so we've heard a lot about that PS4, the end of that race. Now let's talk about the Xbox race, because they also took to Watkins Glen in the trucks too.
Yeah, Daniel Buttafuoco dominated the field. He is the hottest driver right now, swept the preseason. He's leading laps. He's checking out. But keep an eye on Nick Walker. He started in the back of the pack, and he raced his way all the way forward. He's going to be a guy to keep an eye on the Xbox side the remainder of the season.
Yeah, it definitely looked cool there in the trucks. This next week, however, we're heading to Dover. The eNASCAR Heat Pro League is going to race there on Wednesday, this next Wednesday. So I have to ask you, what do you think is going to happen at Dover? You think it's going to be crazy?
Oh, it's going to be crazy. Every legend of Dover you've heard is true. You lose your concentration for a split second, that track is going to reach up and grab you. Hit the apron, you're done. If you spin the tires off with two, you get in the wall, you're done. Every corner is a challenge, and these guys are going to be flying out there trying to make it work and survive till the end.
Yeah, Miles is a monster for a reason. He can reach up and grab you quick.
Yeah. I'm looking for Josh Harbin to kind of channel that energy. He's one of the most clutch drivers out there in NASCAR heat, and he's a little bit further back in the points, so he's got to come out and deliver and maybe get a win to raise his position in the points to hopefully lock a spot into the championship race here in a few weeks.
All right, well, we broke down Watkins Glen, and next up is Miles the Monster at Dover. Russell, I have to thank you for joining us here, because you broke it all down for me. So we're ready for Dover.
Yeah, I'm ready for Dover. I'm ready for every single week in the NASCAR Heat Pro League season. These drivers, let's go. I want to go racing right now. Thank you guys for having me.
Let's switch gears to the Pro Invitational Series. I'm now going to welcome in one of our favorite in-car commentaries that we've gotten to experience over these last couple of weeks, and also one of the drivers that's been racing in that Pro Invitational Series, Clint Bowyer. Clint, how you doing? Checking his teeth here, guys. Making sure.
Are we on yet?
Yeah, you got to get camera ready.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How is everybody?
You should be used to that, because I will say you've been one of the most entertaining parts of this Pro Invitational Series.
We're quarantine crazy around here at the Bowyer residence. It is absolutely in effect, 100%. This sucks, just like it does for everybody, but I'm over hearing the words COVID-19. I'm over hearing the words pandemic. I'm so over it, as is everybody else. But man, the iRacing has been a blast. What a breath of fresh air. What a pleasant surprise. I know that iRacing has been around a long time. I've have a relationship with them. They sponsor our Dirt Late model. Very aware of iRacing, but the tool, that how we used it with our sport has been phenomenal. It gave us an opportunity to reach our fans. And I, in my opinion, give them some great entertainment. I've been entertained, man. I don't know if it shows, but Jeff and I have been having a blast down there at the studio, calling these races and doing everything. I mean, it truly has been a lot of fun.
All right, well, I want to show the Talladega recap from this past Sunday so we can see all the action, and then I'm going to have you break it down for me.
Okay.
And here we go.
Now
Green flag.
That's some good form there, isn't it, Mike?
Very.
Looks pretty focused but and happy.
And sounding like Bowyer.
Yeah, because Denny just took me 3 wide. I got him back.
Well, you're usually safe if you're the leader at Talladega.
Oh no! Look at him!
Woo-hoo, so close. Really hard.
Whoa, Jeff Gordon up in the air, flipping 7 times. You are looking at a total of 44 wins at Talladega.
Tell me if they're wrecking.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Well, a couple of them got off and back on.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Hey, guys, I think I'm in the lead. Oh, no!
There you have it.
No! It's blowed up.
Oh, you blowed up, Bowyer?
Oh, man, you got to be kidding me.
You probably should have got out from behind him.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm not. I'm not laughing.
Chase is up on the outside.
But look.
Oh, here he comes.
Yeah. Chase got turned by Brennan Poole, Jeff.
Okay.
And then Poole got up and into the wall with you, and Landon Castle hit the wall.
But I am enjoying this race. I'm watching it on the monitor here, and wow, what an awesome event this is. And man, it's going to get wild in these last couple laps. We already saw 3 wide right there.
These guys are moving. Oh, there it is.
Nope, just one. Oh, Logano hard in the wall on the outside, and that might have been Kyle Busch with him. Whoa, Blaney, up, down, kabong. They're all in it to win it. Here we go. And Dillon gets turned out of the front pack. Byron to the apron and to the line. Alex Bowman is your winner, iRacing at Talladega.
All right, Clint. So Alex Bowman gets the win. That's the 3rd week for Hendrick Motorsports. But Jeff Gordon spent the first half of the race laughing at you, and then you got the last lap because he's flipping in the air.
I know the depth in which the Hendrick organization is going to win these races. It is ridiculous.
Yes.
The hours put in to practicing each and every week. It's like Gordon is making these. He's demanding these drivers to do this. But one thing he's not doing is demanding himself to do it. Did you see how bad he sucked at iRacing? This guy is a champion, an all-around badass, and is not very awesome on iRacing at all, as a matter of fact. He was the only guy I ever saw stick his car in the fence. That means it never came down. He finished in the fence.
But in true Gordon fashion, he still had the sponsor showing right on the front.
Yeah, in true Gordon fashion, still stole everybody's show. Poor Alex Bowman won the race, and nobody knew that because Jeff was in the fence most of the race. That being said, tons of fun. I hope that it was perceived that way because honestly, I mean, we just have a blast down there calling these races. We were down there last night, had a phenomenal show with the IROC cars and Michigan and dirt cars at Eldora. You know, that's the unique perspective that only iRacing can give. Even for a racer, right? I mean, we're all fans of this, of motorsports, but the perspective of being able to get on a sim rig and go into a race that nobody's seen before, cool perspective. And again, only iRacing can really deliver that. So I've been having a lot of fun with it.
It's definitely been entertaining for us at home because, with no sports action right now, it's been nice to at least get some type of action on the track, whether or not it's the virtual track or the real thing. So switching now to Dover, we have this Dover coming up on Sunday. It's going to be the a little shorter, little lighter track than we're used to at Talladega. What can you expect from Dover this Sunday?
So Dover's going to be wild. I've practiced Dover over the last few weeks, but it's been in a street stock car with my buddy Tim Duggar and a bunch of those guys. I'm a street stock guy. Turns out I'm a street stock extraordinaire. I came into this sport in a 78 Camaro, and I'll be damned if I'm not here racing iRacing every Tuesday or whatever night Duggar decides to call and jump online till 2 or 3 in the morning racing street stocks at Dover, drafting, blocking, wrecking. It's been a lot of fun. So that's the only perspective I've seen. I haven't been in a cup car at Dover, but time will tell what we see here this weekend.
So you're telling me that you're supposed to be good on Sunday?
No chance.
All that practice.
No chance. I'm not very good at iRacing. Practice makes perfect. And I don't know if you've noticed or paid attention to, the ones that are winning these races. Yeah. It's the ones that don't have a family, don't have a wife to answer to. My God, a wife to answer to in quarantine, a quarantine wife. Woohoo! You want to talk about laying the law down in the Bowyer residence? She is on it.
We know Laura is the head of the household.
You started this project 3 years ago. That's a reminder. Finish that thing. You get this done. My gutter's leaking. The toilet seat was broke. My gosh, the toilet seat was a major pandemic crisis situation yesterday. We had to have that fixed immediately. It was a toilet seat that I didn't even know existed in our house. Had to be fixed, and it had to be fixed yesterday morning. So definitely some wild things going on with everybody's life in this pandemic.
So needless to say, you're ready to get back to the real track.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Alex.
All right, Clint. So before we end this, I'm going to play just a little game with you. I want to ask, as the commentary hat that you put on every week, I want to ask some of your best finishes, best endings, best wrecks. So I'm going to see what your opinion is on that. First up, I'm going to ask you, what do you think has been the best finish that we've seen in the Pro Invitational Series so far this season?
Definitely the first one. And honestly, the best product, I think, all across the board. I think it was a good blend of racing at Homestead, but it was, a good blend of entertainment on the fact that nobody had a clue what we were doing. It was new to everybody. It was, all right, this is the plan. This is what we're going to try to pull off. Let's see what happens. Hit the red button. And that's exactly how it went down, from, everybody, me in the car and Jeff and Mike trying to figure it out. What exactly they're calling. Larry McReynolds trying to call a race and
with
something that he's never even watched before. I mean, it was comic relief at its finest. So definitely the best finish and the best product was Homestead.
Yeah, Denny gets that one. Who's the hardest to beat in iRacing? I might know the answer to this.
It's all the regulars. I think, William Byron and Timmy Hill, those guys. But, if you really look at it, they've won like 800 races. I haven't ran 800 laps. It's like, it's not even. So my dad's like, you better get on there and practice. You're embarrassing me, boy. You suck. I'm like, Dad, I don't give a damn. It's not about winning an iRace. It doesn't register on my cool meter that hey, by the way, I won. I beat them at a game, sitting in my barn in my basement or people's garages where most of them are because their wives already thrown them out of the house. So I am not going to sit here 30, 40 hours a week, and try to catch up to these kids that have the opportunity to do that. Because speaking of kids, my kids, there's no chance that they would allow me to take 30 hours of my week and be able to go over there and burn it up in an iRacing.
Yeah, I can't wait to introduce you. The next time we're at the real track, I'm going to throw all your iRacing stats out as a way to introduce you. It's not going to be, we don't care about the Cup Series wins anymore.
That you bring up a really good point. And when it's all done, when we go back to, our real day jobs and we get back on track, I would like to do a recap, a recap show with Jeff and do a recap of exactly what happened, what transpired over the course of a couple months in iRacing. And where I'm going with that is, I want to see, and it would be staggering, I guarantee you, how many hours people have put and logged on iRacing, to perfect what they got going on. So I want to do that. I want a recap show of all of this pandemic iRacing when it's all said and done. I think it'd be entertaining.
All right, 2 more for you, and then I can let you go, get back to the kids in the honey-do list. Best scanner clip, because we've seen you guys be mic'd up just like you are in regular races. There's been a lot of juicy stuff.
Yeah, we've had rage quits. We've had wrecking each other. We've had, exhilaration of winning, seeing guys that have won for the first time. Watching Timmy Hill win that race with all his peers. I don't care if it's an iRacing, simulated race or whatever. He was pretty pumped up, and it was good. It felt good to watch him be in the limelight and have FS1, calling him to give him an interview. Alex Weaver calling him, at NASCAR.com to because they wanted his interview for his win.
It means so much. I've got a tremendous amount of fans and friends and family all reach out to me and really congratulate me for the recognition that we've been getting. Our team, myself, and our sponsors, a lot of times we don't get that recognition. So to finally kind of capitalize on that, pull off a win here in iRacing, I'm glad that iRacing and Fox and NASCAR really let us do this, because it's a tremendous feeling. The amount of messages I've already gotten, my phone's blowing up. I see we're trending on Twitter, and it's just a really nice feeling.
Everybody deserves that opportunity. If you're chasing your dreams and things like that, again, using this as an opportunity in this situation, it's refreshing to see those guys getting some limelight where they don't typically get.
Yeah, that was after talking to Timmy after that win. He said that was the coolest thing, is that his name was mentioned all week long, which he's not used to that. So that was really cool for him.
And I could see that, and you felt it, and you could see, hey man, you're always happy to see somebody do good, for themselves, and to be truly ecstatic. I mean, that's something that you can't make up, and you could see the look on his face, and it makes you feel good.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, last one. Favorite moment of the year in the Pro Invitational Series so far?
Favorite moment of the year besides...
It can be in the booth, it can be out of the car, in the car, whatever you want to make it.
My favorite moment was probably last week when Jeff... because my favorite moment was backed up to my most embarrassing moment. It was when Jeff finally made it to the grand stage. I brought Cash's rig down there so we could get Gordon, the golden boy, on a rig in the race for everybody to see, all his masses of fans. Oh, my Gordon's going to whip your butt again, Bowyer. We put him on a rig side by side, mano-a-mano. Here he is stuck in the fence. Oh, man, I'm upside down. I'm in the fence. I'm dying laughing, only for about 2 minutes. Now I'm leading. My man's in the fence wrecked. He's pouting. I am pumped up. Look at me, look at me, look at me. And then I blow the motor and ruined my day as well. So after all the trash talking that went down, we finished 33rd and 38th.
Next time get around Bowman earlier.
I know. I should have put him a lap down. I was trying to do the right thing. Honestly, it's chaos. It's total. I'm chaos anyway. And usually, because of that, I'm acclimated to it and I'm used to it and I'm fine with it. There's way too much going on. There's the car, the sounds, everything going on in your right ear and your headset. You're hearing guys whine, Bubba, and all those. Everything you hear, I can hear in that right ear. Oh, by the way, I hear Jeff Gordon, Mike Joy calling the race. Larry Mack, he gets really excited. I can hear him in the left ear. You're like, oh! I'm watching the production up on a big screen next to me, so I'm looking here, I'm watching what's going on. Oh my gosh, I'm in a wreck. Oh my gosh, what happened? I'm watching both of those. I'm hearing two different things in ears. Next thing you know, you overheat the car and blow up. Sponsors are pissed off. It was not good, but it's all in good fun.
It is. Last question. This is just my personal question.
That's awesome. Let's get personal.
No, this is good. Did Cash get his rig back from Gordon?
Definitely got his rig back. We broke the screen somehow, delivering it back and forth. So I got a screen ordered. He's not very impressed about that. So he robbed my screen off of mine. And, I'll show you here. I'll show you right here. This is what happens. He is not happy.
Oh, wow.
Yes. This is our little setup in the barn here. This is, you got it. We come here and just, this is man stuff, as we call it.
Yeah.
No girls allowed, man stuff.
So now he just stole your screen.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. He deserves it because he was so selfless to give his up for Gordon. It was so nice of him.
That's right.
All right, Clint. Well, we're excited to see race at Dover in the finish line 150. It's going to be an exciting show. We know. Don't try not to wreck anything. Try not to overheat. And then we'll see you back.
Whoa! It's like now you're picking.
I'm wishing you well.
Do I just have "punch me" here, tattooed on my forehead? It's terrible. The beating I take over this iRacing
in victory lane.
Maybe we can win. Hey, guys, hang in there. Sounds like we're going racing soon, baby.
Yeah. Woohoo! Thank you, Clint. See you at the track soon, friend.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, we are now going to welcome in our betting guru. I have to welcome in PJ Walsh from the Action Network. PJ, we just talked to Clint here on the show, so I have to ask you. I told him he might win and get into victory lane. Does the 14 stand a chance?
I don't think he wins, but he's 50-1. So you tell me, will you take a shot on 50-1? I mean, that seems worth it, right?
I don't know. He didn't make me really confident in my pick of the 14.
Well, I'd go 50-1. Why not? We should throw a bet on him. Let's do it.
Okay, we've also seen 3 weeks of the Hendrick Motorsports dominance with Willie B and Alex Bowman. I want to talk about the Bowman, the showman, because can we expect him? We know he has to maybe venture on to the back of the pack for this one. So can we expect Bowman in the 88 to get back into victory lane?
I don't think so myself. I looked up the stats. He hadn't led a lap until Talladega. So I'm not too bullish on him anyway. And like you said, now he's got to start at the back. Track position is so big at Dover. I don't see him getting there.
Well, it was funny because when I talked to him about all the bad things he was doing on track, we blame the dog. It's Finn, but when he wins, it's Bowman. So maybe he'll like to beat those odds. Who knows?
He doesn't have a daughter to turn the screen off. So maybe that's why he won.
Yeah, poor Denny. We still won't talk about that because, oh, man. Okay, so I have to ask you coming up for the Finish Line 150 at Dover, who do you like and who are the best chances right now to take in this betting in the Finish Line app?
Yeah, Byron's the favorite again. Like you mentioned, Hendrick is dominating. He's still leading laps. He's plus 175, which is it's less than 2-1. I think it's weird because I'm not going to bet him personally, but I won't blame you or anyone else for betting on him. Like I think there's a small edge there. So if anyone listening or watching wants to bet him, go ahead. I like Timmy Hill 7-1. I think that's a great price for him.
All right, so we're locking in Timmy Hill.
Yeah, we're locking in Timmy Hill. He's got the best average finish, even though he wasn't really in the mix at Talladega. Still the best average finish. Has 4 top 3 finishes. Has a win. So you got to take him at 7-1, and that's my biggest edge and my favorite bet.
All right, lock him in. I also have to talk to you about your long shot because they've been good picks too. And there's always a long shot. You never know what you can get when you're racing on a Sunday in the Cup Series, and especially in the Pro Invitational Series. So who's your long shot?
So Boyer's not our long shot.
He's our long shot, our very long distance shot.
Two long shots, and probably just replay what we said last week. It's Brad Keselowski, so that means we should probably bet that he's going to take the lead and then wreck, because that's what my long shots have actually done. But I like Keselowski. He's putting in a lot of time. He actually led the most laps last week. So let's go, Kez. One more time. Final time for Kez.
I like it. He's a newbie too, so he's really
he owes us.
He's been practicing.
Right.
All right, PJ. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I always like hearing these because usually I'm wrong, so it's nice to have somebody else that can give me some odds and help prove me right.
Well, thanks so much, Alex. We'll be right about Keselowski or Bowyer. Let's go.
So we heard from PJ those best picks to lock in, and it's a good thing because you have to download that Finish Line app. NASCAR announced a slate of new fantasy and prop betting offerings on the eNASCAR iRacing.com Pro Invitational Series, created courtesy of NASCAR's official gaming partner, Penn Interactive. The eNASCAR Finish Line mobile game is available now across iOS and Android phones and tablets and can be downloaded on the App Store and Google Play Store. Players can win a $5,000 jackpot by accurately predicting the top 2 finishers and the highest finishers across 6 different groupings of 4 drivers. Get to those phones and tablets and lock in those picks because we're going racing at Dover in the Finish Line 150 coming up on Sunday on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports app. It's going to be a heck of a show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in here. We appreciate all of the support that we've gotten and all of the views on this. This has been so fun to watch this Pro Invitational Series. But one that didn't have fun necessarily was Denny Hamlin last week at Talladega because his screen went black. Taylor got a hold of the remote, and it was all she wrote for the number 11. Check it out.
I'm mad. I'm pissed off. But they're just kids. You will see at the end of this clip, or end of this recap, we have live footage of my daughter coming in with a remote, Samsung remote, hits the power button, and cuts my monitors off while I'm racing. That was unfortunate. It all started with misqualifying. I was trying to log on to TeamSpeak. My fault, got in the back of the pack. Eric sideswiped us, knocked us to the grass. Then we were going back to the pack again. I think Eric hit somebody else, knocked him into me, knocked me a lap down, had some damage, still saved the fast repair. But my daughter came in with a remote and essentially ended our day. That's something you just don't hear every day, folks. Thanks, Coke, FedEx, everyone else. Gotta be kidding me.
Pause. Dad, can we go downstairs in the go-karts?
Hey, my screen just went black.